Would-be settlers. May 5, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. The plot thickens. Why you cannot support the Michigan General Assembly, besides the fact that it includes U.S. citizens in its membership, which our actual geographically defined states forbid. It turns out that the Brits, using the U.S. military as pawns, have been at it again. Look what I received in the mail this morning from James Courtade, quote, "You will recall, and I do, that while I was designated to be the Sec. of the Treasury I was the Michigan governor. In that capacity I met with groups and set up county assemblies. To my dismay I found out that Robert Gilman and a few others were working behind my back to unseat me. It made no sense. Then I discovered that they had created a Settlor document, which gave them total ownership and control of the state. They knew I would not go along with such an effort, and that is the reason they wanted me gone. When I first met Robert, he talked about his military background, which was quite impressive. It therefore came as a shock when I found that he was attempting to subvert the Michigan Assembly. I addressed the membership of about 400 and told them what was going on, and then resigned. Immediately all but about 20 people left the group. Going on today, I submit, is an effort to replace the existing state with one that is even more harmful to the people. According to Bruce Camps, a friend with over 40 years of experience studying law, according to the document, the settlers would own everything and be able to dictate the form or species, gold, silver, platinum, of the taxes as well as the amounts to be paid by the people. Over the many months that you wrote about the merits of the Michigan Assembly, I expected that the matter had been corrected and that Robert was no longer involved. Reading this article, one find to my dismay that he is still there. The people of Michigan must learn that the man is evil." End quote. I stop short of presuming that Robert is evil, but he is certainly misled and is misleading others. The road to hell is paved with good intentions driven by partial and incorrect information leads to disaster every time. So it is that I have found numerous former military personnel involved in efforts to seize our country in the same way that so many banana republics have been seized, by Settlor agreements. These men and women, having been in the U.S. military, have been conned into assuming that they are U.S. citizens, and they have never bothered to question that, even though the Marine Corps daily drill drums it into their heads that they are what? Americans. So it may take a moment or a month or a year for many former military personnel to realize that they were functioning as U.S. citizens while in the service, but were not born as U.S. citizens and are not naturally U.S. citizens, and that there is in fact a foreign allegiance to the British Crown involved in being a U.S. citizen. It may also take a while for them to completely understand that as long as they adopt U.S. citizenship, they are at a profound disadvantage politically, and will never be able to enjoy the freedom they fought for. All they will ever have is liberty, what sailors get only at their captain's discretion when they make it to port. If that's what you guys in the military fought for, that's sad. If you fought for freedom, it's time to sever all presumption of U.S. citizenship and act as American state citizens instead. So what is the evil settlers agreement that Robert and his group have put together? It's a claim to be the settlers of our estates, which were created under conditions of fraud and which have been balled up by the same municipal perpetrators and British members of the armed services. As would-be settlers, they get to distribute what they want to distribute and otherwise act as little gods over the rest of us. They get to claim the land and everyone else goes hungry. It's what the Protestants did to the Catholics in Ireland. And it's all based on bull crap. So, now we know the rest of the story, and the reason that Destry and Sun Tzu and the rest of the plotters reacted so violently and spread so much gossip against me when they realized that I was representing the interests of the actual people of this country and that I was bent on doing the settlement the right way, so that everyone's interests were preserved.